Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we will do History chapter number 9, Development of Regional Cultures. So let's begin with the explanation of the chapter. Factors that influenced the development of regional cultures. The development of languages. Language and region are interlinked. Malayalam was the regional language that was the earliest to be used in the official records in the subcontinent, which means Malayalam language was the only language which was used in the whole subcontinent as records to write. During the early medieval period, the southwestern part of the peninsula, the Chera kingdom of Mahayoddha, was established. In the medieval period, many languages were developed like Hindustani, Gujarati, Marathi, Kannada, Bengali, Rajasthani, Oriya, and Assamese. The accounts were kept in both Persian and Hindi. Bengali was promoted by Muslim kings of Bengal. Development of Urdu language is very interesting as it is originated in camp of soldiers. It is also known as camp language. Religious traditions and their impact on society and politics. Religion rituals or rites also get linked to the culture as they form a very important aspect as means of life. At times in our history, the priests have gained a lot of importance as advisors to the king, knowledge and learning which form an integral part of any education system. In course of the time, the ruler began to be treated as the deputy of God. Influences of heroes on regional culture. Regional culture also showed heroic influences that were passed on generation to generation. Rajput ruled areas now come under the Rajasthan. Regional language and literature as a source of history. Religious and secular regional language literature is therefore it is an important source of energy. They provide exact information. It is written by authors. Their works give us information about dynasties and economy. Sanskrit. Sanskrit was a language of higher learning in many parts of India. Famous Sanskrit writers of medieval India are Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, and Vallabhacharya. Other famous of literature were also popular such as dramas, stories and political narratives like Kavya. Some famous writings in Sanskrit are Vijnashwar, Chandeshwar, Himachandra Suri. Hindi. Mughal emperors promoted Hindi language. Hindi poets adorned the Mughal court. Hindi was an important language in the medieval India. Abdul Rahim Khan, Ikhana, was a Mughal noble. His poem comprises of Persian ideas and human relations. His dohas are popular even today. Marathi. Marathi was used as one of the administrative languages in the Brahminic kingdom. Bhakti saints like Namdev and Tukaram preached about the feelings of brotherhood, love, and harmony towards the humanity and communicated these ideas in local Marathi languages. Marathi literature of Maratha region by composing devotional songs, poems, and verses in the praise of God. Punjabi. In the medieval India, Punjabi developed into an important and popular languages of the masses. The reason behind this was the role of Sikh gurus who reached out to the common people with teachings of the universal truth. Punjabi tales are called kissas that are were most of the time written by the Muslim writers, which proves the bonding between Hindu and Muslim. Telugu. Vijayanagar kings of South India promoted and patronized the Telugu language and literature. Krishnadev Rai was a great poet and scholar. Tenali Rama was a court poet during the rule of Krishnadev Rai. His positive criticism and honor is still read in the form of stories by children. Paintings. Now let us talk about paintings of the medieval era. Painting is an art form that has always added to the grandeur of the glorious tradition in India. Ajanta caves in Maharashtra are famous for the Indian paintings. The inner walls of the Brihadeshwara temple are adorned with the beautiful paintings from Hindu mythology. Palm leaf manuscripts of Mughal period decorated with colorful paintings are a beautiful sight to behold. These are the court paintings painted by the painters of those times. The Mughal rulers were great patrons of art and painting, reached its performance perfection under the Mughals. The Mughal School of Art was a fine artistic mix of Indian and Persian traditions. Their paintings depicted new themes like battle, court scenes, ceremonies, and marriages. Firstly, only the some king pictures were only used in the paintings, but now the themes were more upgraded, and battles, court scenes, ceremonies, and marriages were also depicted in the form of paintings. Their paintings consists of variety of themes, for example, buildings and natural landscapes. For example, the buildings of monuments like Taj Mahal or Lal Killa, and natural landscapes which were adorned. The Mughal Empire the Mughal Empire Humayun played an very important role in the development of Mughal miniature paintings, which again is reflected of Persian influence due to his exile at Persia. There is a Persian touch in the Mughal rule because the Humayun and the Babur were not from India. They were from Afghanistan, and they were called by the local kings of the Indian rulers to defeat Lodis and rule over there. So there is a bit of uh, Persian influence in the medieval era. So when he turned to India, he brought two famous Persian painters, Mir Saeed Ali and Abdus Samad, with him. Jahangir popularized portrait paintings and the paintings of animals. Painters from Mughal court settled in different parts of the country. Gradually, these places developed as centers of painting. The Rajasthan painting of medieval are a blend of themes and styles of traditional Indian paintings and the Mughal form and style. Music. Like languages, literature, and painting, music also flourished in the medieval India. The advent of Turks led to a fusion of music in India. Turks are also known for rich Arab traditions of music, and they also introduced new musical instruments like rabab and sarangi. Rabab and sarangi were the most commonly used instruments to produce music at the medieval times. This is a rabab and this is a sarangi. Amir Khusrau was a famous court poet of the Alauddin Khilji. Amir Khusrau was a friend and disciple of Nizamuddin Aulia. Khusrau was credited for introducing many Persian Arabic rags such as Iman, Ghora and Sanam to India. Some historians believe that he also invented sitar and dholak. Amir Khusrau was given a title of Nayak or master of both theory and practice of music. During the reign of Sultan Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Indian classic works like Rag Darpan was translated, which deals with music. It was translated into Persian language. During the reign of Sikandar Lodi, Lahjat-e Sikandar Shahi, a classical work on different forms of music was written, which means the reign of these three kings bring a lot change into the music. Gradually, musical gatherings were no longer restricted to abodes and Sufis, and the palaces of the nobles became popular seats of music. Music in India also developed in the regional kingdoms. The rulers of Jaunpur and Gwalior were great patrons of music. Raja Man Singh of Gwalior was very fond of music. He encouraged and supported the production of a book called Mankuthal. Akbar patronized Tansin of Gwalior. He was a great musician. He created many melodies or ragas. According to Abul Fazal, a single like Tanzeen hasn't been heard in India for last 1,000 years. This means, according to Akbar, Abul Fazal was a great singer with a very melodious voice, which was not heard in thousands of years. Then he had a very special voice. Akbar gave him special seat in Fatehpur Sikri. Jahangir and Shah Jahan were fond of music, hence they kept many musicians in their court. Aurangzeb banned all forms of music except the instrumental. Music was encouraged after his death. It was Muhammad Shah or the Rangila, one of his successors, who encouraged music. Dance. Many classical dances leveled during the medieval era. Timely, every part of India introduced their own dance form. Mostly classical dances were performed in temples. Like this, seven classical dances evolved during that time. The regions in which they developed became their regional culture part. Example, Bihu is a harvest dance of Assam and Tipani is a folk dance of Gujarat. The pictures show that match Bihu dance of Assam and Tipani dance of Gujarat. Kathak was also a very famous dance form practiced in the temples of that time. In the temples, Kathak was performed very beautifully. Kathak is a word associated which means performing every story in the form of expressions. Kathak was very practiced in the temples of that time. So, this was all about this chapter, and hope you all understood it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share my channel. Thanks for watching.